Hello, this is Breakfast with Roger Johnson and Steph McGovern.
Barack Obama warns it could take 10 years to do a trade deal with the United States if Britain leaves the EU.
In an exclusive interview, the US President warns negotiations would be complex and time-consuming, and he denies suggestions of scaremongering.
It could be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, before we were able to actually get something done.
Good morning, it's Sunday the 24th of April.
Also ahead, a fresh plan to avert all-out strike action by junior doctors.
The Ministry of Defence has told it should face prosecution when members of the armed forces die in training.
A final farewell to Prince. A cremation is held during a private ceremony attended by the singer's friends and family.
Good morning. In sport, Manchester United make it to the FA Cup final. A dramatic injury time winner means they'll face either Crystal Palace or Watford, who play today.
And it's a test of endurance and a day of emotion in the capital, the London Marathon. 36,000 runners expected across this start line once they've finished building it. We'll speak to some of them later.
What will the weather be like for all the runners and the rest of us indeed? Matt's got the forecast this morning.
Good morning. Well, a little rain at the start of the London Marathon, but the rest of the time it should be dry, but feeling cold, as it will do for all of us once again today. A bit more cloud around, a little bit of sunshine here and there, and the odd shower thrown in for good measure. I'll give you all the full details, though, in 15 minutes. See you then.
Thank you, Matt.
Good morning. First, our main story. President Obama has told the BBC it could take up to 10 years to agree a trade deal with the United States if the UK leaves the EU. In an exclusive interview, Mr Obama says any negotiations would be complex and time-consuming.
His latest intervention in the referendum debate follows his claim on Friday that the UK risked ending up at the back of the queue for future trade deals. With more, here's our North America editor, John Sopel.
The one time when you can guarantee that nearly all Britons will cheer for Europe is when the Ryder Cup is on. Well, the two-ball teeing off yesterday at the Grove wasn't exactly pro-standard, but Europe has been the theme of Barack Obama's trip to London, and his explosive comment that the UK would go to the back of the queue on any future trade deal outside the EU.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
In an exclusive BBC interview, he explained what that would mean.
The UK would not be able to negotiate something with the United States faster than the EU. We wouldn't abandon our efforts to negotiate a trade deal with our largest trading partner, the European market, but rather it could be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, before we were able to actually get something done.
There should be a reason for...
He may not have made friends with the Vote Leave campaigners on this trip, but he won over a lot of young people when he did this question and answer session in central London. The president now leaves Britain to fly to Germany. The White House are delighted by this trip. We'll know in late June what impact his intervention has had. John Sopel, BBC News.
We'll see more from President Obama's exclusive interview with the BBC, talking to Hugh Edwards at around 6:20.
Now, also giving their views on the EU referendum is the leading contender for the Democratic nomination to be the next US president, who has also echoed Mr Obama's concerns. Hillary Clinton's senior policy advisor told the Observer newspaper that she believes transatlantic cooperation is essential, and this is strongest when Europe is united. He goes on to say that she has always valued a strong United Kingdom in a strong EU.
Now, Leave campaigners have argued that a deal wouldn't take as long as President Obama has suggested. The Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, stressed that he considered the President's intervention to be hypocritical.
Over the last few days, absolutely nobody on that side of the argument has been able to answer the key point that I've been making, which is that it is inconsistent, perverse, and yes, it is hypocritical of the United States to tell us that we should sacrifice more of our independence when they would never dream of doing so themselves.
The Labour Party is